Today on BC POV, my top 5 rides of 2018.
Nice. Sick. Wow. This is so good. Sick. Oh, that was awesome.
First up, number 5, a solo ride on the North Shore in the snow. I actually called in sick to work so I could do this ride. I noticed it had snowed in the mountains and I wasn't going to let that opportunity pass.
Nice.
I'm always up for an adventure and the snow was promising. After a slow hike up the mountain,
Alright.
I dropped into Ladies Only, a classic on the shore.
So far, not too bad.
Dropping in, my brakes sounded like a drunk orchestra, but onwards I went. It was still fairly cold out, so the conditions were still pretty grippy.
Yes. Nice. Alright, now I got the pond and the teeter-totter. If I fall in the pond, it's not a good thing. Oh, I made it.
Shockingly, somehow I never crashed during the whole ride, but I definitely chose my features to ride.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna pass on the drop.
Any skier knows that snow can have a huge range of types depending on the temperature, and it's no different for mountain bikes.
Oh, it's so slushy here now. Oh, it's definitely slippery.
I love snow rides when the conditions are right, but I think most people would stay home on days like this. But what a beautiful time to go for a ride.
It's amazing in here right now.
For number 4, we head over to Japan. After spending 2 months there, this ride turned out to be one of the best. After previously meeting some new friends at a downhill race, they invited my wife and I to see some of their favorite trails in Nagano, and boy were they good. They took us to 5 different trails, each with their own flavor. And to make things even better, it even snowed on one of the trails.
Sick.
With unbelievable flow, the riding was truly world class.
Oh yeah.
Can you tell I like riding in the snow yet? The last trail we rode was absolutely covered in leaves, axle deep in fact. It makes for interesting riding when you can't actually see the trail. This may have been the perfect way to end our trip in Japan.
Oh yeah.
Number 3 has got to be bikepacking in the Chilcotins with BKXC. Brian had come up to BC from California to ride, and I was tasked with showing him some of the best trails we had to offer.
Oh my god, it's so magical in here.
Such a task would be incomplete without a trip to the Chilcotins. At Bikepackers Paradise, this is the place to get away from it all, absorb some unbelievable views,
Wow.
and ride some world-class single track.
Rowdy.
With 3 days and 2 nights planned, we had a big adventure ahead of us. We glided through meadows, hiked over mountains, splashed through creeks, and conquered ridgelines. I actually get emotional talking about this place. I love it that much.
Oh man.
After 3 days, 95 kilometers of trail, and 3,000 meters of climbing, we could finally call the adventure complete. What a place.
I love this. This is my happy place.
At number 2 on the list, we have Fuji 10 Bike Park in Japan. With rain in the air, my wife and I did not expect much at all. But boy, were we mistaken. We had such a blast there. First off, they were playing 80s jams on the chairlift. So every ride up was a chair dance party. Secondly, the dirt was unreal.
Oh man, this is so good.
Being at the base of a volcano, Mount Fuji in this case, made for some amazing conditions in the wet. And on top of all that, they've built these wonderful flow trails that only seem possible in Japan. We had an amazing time this day, and that ramen lunch did not hurt things one bit. Tasty. At number 1, we have one of the most notorious trails in Canada, Dirt Diggler. Classified as a pro line, this trail is not for the faint of heart, and I knew that going in. After reluctantly joining a birthday ride with some locals, my anxiety was super high once we got to the top.
Ah, come on.
With a mix of fear and trepidation, we dropped in. And I crashed.
Why am I crashing?
Wow, I was off to a bad start and we haven't even gotten to the trail yet. We finally got to the entrance of Dirt Diggler and I couldn't bring myself to drop in. I was not used to riding in these loose conditions. All the locals were sending it easily, but my confidence was in the pits.
Okay, makes me nervous.
Well, yeah, and for good reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy, you got it. Come on.
Oh, it's so loose down there.
What had I gotten myself into?
Come on. Yeah, buddy.
The biggest feature on the trail was the Black Lung, a coal chute.
Holy shit.
A super loose and committing line. Once you were in, there was no turning back.
Okay. Oh god. Woo. Sick. Oh, that was awesome. Woo.
Having finally sent the line, the rest of the trail wasn't too bad. It was still pretty rowdy.
That's cool.
We got to the bottom and celebrated. Making it through one of the rowdiest lines definitely deserved a couple beers. This was my best ride of 2018. Oh, and what do we have here? An honorable mention. And the honorable mention goes to Japan's half-pipe trails.
That's so sick.
And because it wasn't just one ride, but multiple rides,
That's sweet.
Japan's half-pipe trails are littered across the country. These ancient trails, many created 1,000 years ago, were made by local people dragging sleds up and down the mountains.
This valley is massive.
Over time, they formed these beautiful half-pipe trails that we can ride today. When we planned our visit to Japan, we had no idea these trails existed, but they just kept popping up during our travels. As I learned about these trails, I got giddy with anticipation when we had a chance to ride one.
Oh, I love these. You're calling them half pipes. It's so cool.
These trails combined with beautiful autumn colors made for a fantastic experience and really defines what mountain biking in Japan is all about. And that's my top 5 plus 1 rides of the year. If you'd like to see a longer version of these rides, check out the top comment where you can find links to the full videos. 2018 has been an amazing year, and I want to thank you all for watching the videos, leaving comments, and sharing. I'm at 40,000 subscribers now, and I feel honored by your overwhelming support. I'd also like to give a special shout out to my patrons. I couldn't do this full time without you guys. Thank you. Until next time, stay gnarly.